Now that I have your attention with the fucking title, let's just get right into the recap. One thing I forgot in the last recap, because I had to help my uncle out of the car when he came back from the hospital, was, at the very tail end of the second game, a dragon appeared and it started chasing us, but, luckily the NPC Brianna managed to put it to sleep and we managed to get away from it. And that's pretty much all that happened, which is why I didn't like make a second part. I was just like, well, I got through the entire adventure, and it was just that dragon thing. So that's where we picked up. We had just ran away from the dragon, and we decide to set up camp. And we pick our watch shifts, and well, the first watch is the one that the interesting shit happens on because Lundy and Queenie hear some really weird noises coming from some bushes. So Queenie decides to go investigate. She has dark vision, and she happens to stumble upon two forest drakes in intimacy. Fucking. Why am I like fucking trying to honey my words here? It's like I'm fucking edible napalm. Come on. Tiger doesn't change its stripes. So Elche, Lundy decides to wake up Elche, and I goes to look, and I fucking see this, and I'm like, oh man, Elche finds this shit really hot, and he starts jerking off, and then we get into like this weird discussion of like what's this equivalent to. Because I think it was Lundy or Psycho Lord was like, this is like a man jacking off to a monkey. And I'm like, not really, because kobolds are like the most degenerative of the draconic races. So this would be more like a fucking monkey jacking off to a man. And then it's like, well, forest drakes aren't really true dragons, so it's more like a monkey jacking off to a Neanderthal. And boom, there you go. There's the title for this week's fucking recap. I gotta say, like, I'm willing to bet this is probably going to be the most viewed D&D recap, if for nothing else, but because of that name, because people are going to be like, what the a monkey, like a monkey jacking off, masturbating to a Neanderthal. That is what? So they spot Queenie, and they're fucking pretty pissed. So they disengage, which for some reason I just imagine it's like when dogs fuck and they're like ass to ass. It's really fucking weird. So they start attacking. I see this, so I fucking let loose a crossbow bolt, and Queenie lets loose a fucking musket, and they start attacking us. They got this weird acid breath that it hurts a lot. Like again, that's the problem with El Che. He does not have that much HP. Which I'm really fucking hoping next time we play I get the level 5. Because I'm still going to take a level of rogue, which isn't going to give me much HP. But once I get the level 5, I have all the rogue levels I need for the moment, so I can start multi-class and probably into fighter. I was thinking maybe barbarian, but I don't really have the constitution score for that. Anyways, so the dragon's breath, when it hits you, it hurts first round, and then it kind of lingers for a while, but it's not like the acid is still burning you, but instead what happens is like the vapors from the acid create a cloud of fog, and you can't really see that good. So like it's funny too because Darth Von Vader and Sammy G's character and Brianna, the NPC, are still at camp. Sammy G was away, so basically, we were like, Sammy's character is just like knocked out, fucking dead. He's fucking asleep. Once he goes to sleep, like he's fucking asleep. So, Brianna and Darth are just at camp like, this doesn't sound very good. Meanwhile, like, Lundy, like, Queenie is getting, like, fucked by these, like, not literally, not like how the dragons were fucking each other, but they are just fucking beating her to shit. Lundy steps in, they start fucking attacking him, and, they almost kill fucking Lundy, because, like, the dragon got, like, a good 5 fucking, like, let me think. Bite. Because I know he fucking acid breath Lundy once, and then it bit him, and then it stung him with his tail, and I think it even got some claw attacks on him. So 4 attacks about, not counting the breath, but like in one round it did like 4 fucking attacks against Lundy, and each of them fucking hit. So I fared better because like the dragon that was going after me missed me on its next turn, and thankfully how I positioned myself, I was, because what fucked us was the dragons had scent, which like a dog or an animal like that, like they can smell you before you fucking get there. So that's how they spotted Queenie. Thankfully though, I was upwind, so when I fucking like disappeared, like the dragon couldn't use its scent really against me, and there was the fog cloud in between us, so it couldn't really see where I went. So I managed to disappear, and Lundy gets one of the dragons out, or it was Queenie. Queenie killed one, and Lundy killed one. So they managed to get the dragon. So the other one starts going after them. I take a blind shot to try to hit the dragon, but I'm not joking. I would have been equally happy if I had hit Lundy's character, because that would have been fucking hilarious. But they managed to kill that one, and pretty much ended that combat. That's when Darth Von Vader's character shows up. So it's like, hey man, teamwork, working together. Um, so one he goes back off the camp, and that's when Brianna's character shows up. Is when me and Queenie find the dragon's little hoard of treasure. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck Lundy. He ain't here right now. Like, so we're dividing this treasure up between the threes of us. And, Queenie's like, doesn't that go against your communistic principles, of like equal fucking pay for equal work? And I'm like, no, like, out of character, I'm like, no, because I'm a real world fucking communist. I'm not playing. Like, yeah, I know this is a fantasy fucking world, and I could probably play like a fucking, a fucking like an actual real fucking communist. But no, I'll have much more fucking fun playing the real world fucking hypocritical shitbags that actually fucking call themselves communists. I'll have so much more fun role playing that shit than actually being like this lovey dovey fucking, equal fucking rights fucking hippie. Like, fuck that shit. That shit ain't fun in fantasy. You know what is fun in fantasy? Genocide. Oh, God. I'm like fucking, oh man, like this isn't for this game, but like going back, like in the rehab for fucking Skull and Shackles, I talk about like I find the fucking egg sack, and like I started reading up on like the Locathins and shit, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta go get more of these eggs. So I asked Landon about it. He's like, yeah, you can get more of the eggs. You're gonna have to, actually go back and do that combat though that you skipped to get the eggs. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, if that fucking stupid sea bitch wants to get in my way, I'll fucking kill her in front of her stupid fucking babies. And then I was like, oh my god, I could eat her heart and be like, I take her powers. And then I was like, oh my god, even better, I could skin her and use her as a puppet. Like, you know how, like, fucking, like, when they're raising baby eagles and shit, they got, like, the fucking eagle puppet? I could use her as a puppet. Like, chaotic evil, go fuck yourself. It's funny, though, because, like, I'm playing neutral evil in this game, so, like, and I play neutral evil a lot better than I play chaotic evil, because chaotic evil is just, like, fucking anything I fucking think of evil I'll fucking do on the spot. But like neutral evil, it's a little more finesse there. I mean, you could be finessey with chaotic evil, like Jakar, my spy master. He was chaotic evil. He was pretty good. But anyways, back to that. So Lundy, we rest until the morning, and we set back out on our adventure to find the drugs, the drug shipment of the captain dude. And we start getting into the swamp, and we hear some distress, like some humanoids in distress and shit. So we start going over, and we find a village of lizard folk, and they got the captives. Well, not the captives. They got the slaves, and then they got the drugs, which they fucking think is spice, which is like so fucking like lizard folk. They're dumb. They're base. Lizard folk are basically the guys from Deliverance, but lizard people. Like that's what they are. Like they're not like David Icke lizard people. They're more, Wally Gator fucking lizard people, retarded. So, they grab one of the dudes from out of the cage and, like, throw him in front of this giant, like, mud hut slash cave. And, like, they push him in there and, like, you hear, like, chomping and fucking screams and shit. So, Queenie devised, like, an actual really good plan where she was like, okay, I'm gonna do an elaborate ruse here. I'm gonna drop down into like where they got like this giant bonfire thing. I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna use fairy fire, make the fire look all weird and shit, and then I'm gonna use my levitate ability. I'm gonna levitate over the fire like I came out of the fire. I'm gonna be like, I'm the real fucking person here. I'm like the real fucking servant of a god. And the thing in the fucking dirt pile is not a real god, so, blasphemy. So, she does that, and, like, the fucking lizard chieftain is like, oh, is that true? And then he gets fucking incinerated by this shit, and it's like, whoa. And it turns out what is in the Mud Hut cave is a pyrohydra, which is a hydra that is fucking fire based. So this thing starts like just fucking butt fucking Queenie's character. I mean, it's not fucking happy that Queenie's called out its fucking shenanigans, which, like, lizard folk are really, again, like, I think, because I was having, like, a discussion with Psych Lord about this, like, I was like, what races should I consider as minion races? And, like, so far on my list, I got goblins and kobolds, obviously, and then I got troglodytes, which are, like, they're like cave lizard people. And I'm like, the reason I'm like they're minions is like, one, they're used a lot by a lot of the underground races as slaves. But two, they themselves don't use slaves because they cannibalize people they capture. So I'm like, well, they don't fucking, capture like, a little fucking underground goblin tribe and use them as slaves. They'll eat them. Again, like Elche, complicated. I think I might add lizard folk to that list too. But so Queenie and the Hydra are going like toe to toe with it, with each other. I mean, not technically, because Queenie's using her musket. So, she's floating in the air shooting this fucking thing. Brianna's in a fucking tree shooting at it. Um, Darth fuck Vader, he's like butt fucking it with arrows. He actually got off a couple of the lizard folk too. Kind of kept them like confused and shit. I was massacring it with fucking crossbow bolts. Lundy and Sammy were dealing with the lizard folk. Sammy actually ran over though, like, cause I'm gonna say this, Big Lundy fucking big pussy, because like he's like, I'm not gonna attack the Hydra because I'm scared and it will kill me, and it's like, you haven't backed down from a fucking goddamn single fight up until this fucking point. And it's like, but it's a big fucking Hydra and I'm not gonna do it. Like, seriously, I've seen you go toe to toe with a fucking troll and you're not gonna fight a fucking pussy. Big pussy. That's big, like, fucking anybody watching this video, if Big Lundy comments on it, just reply to him, whatever, big pussy. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. Because he'll fucking try to fucking defend his cowardness. But you know what's funny talking about cowardness? I told Queenie, because we were talking about, I was like, if you, Sammy, and Lundy had died in the village, I would have started to turn on Darth and the NPC to try to save my own skin. I'd be like, hey man, I was just wandering around and I saw these fucking, stupid mammals attacking my kindred fucking lizard people, like, lizard pride. Like, I don't fucking care, I'm neutral evil. Like that, like, chaotic evil is like genocide evil, like, neutral evil is like backstab evil. It's like, that's like the fucking hallmark of neutral evil. It's like, it's not if I'm gonna backstab you, it's when I'm gonna backstab you. So, the Hydra knocked out Queenie. That's when Sammy ran up. He missed though. So I finally was able though, because Sammy moved up and I could flank it, so I could sneak attack it. I managed to get the kill shot on it. Because I lucked out big for Queenie. Because I managed to get like max sneak attack damage. And then on the actual damage, I got like 2 away from max damage. So I did a shit ton of fucking damage to the fucking Hydra. And that managed, well, to be fair too, Queenie did a fucking shit ton of damage too, because she managed to get a fucking crit, and it fucking like took half of the Hydra's life out in one hit. I mean, guns are fucking nasty. But again, like, there's ways to get around a fucking person with a gun in these Pathfinder games. That goes to you, Fratus, because I know you've been pimping your fucking, your gunslinger backup. Just remember, we're on a boat. There's a lot of things around me that I can use to muck up your weapon. So, since I managed to kill the Hydra, the first thing I did is I got on top of its corpse and I started preaching to the lizard folks about power of self, about how all the gods are false, and how it's, the real power lies within you, and about communism and fucking like that fucking bullshit. So thankfully though, the lizard folk, because lizard folk, they're opportunistic. Like, they're cannibalistic. like much like troglodytes, but they're not like assholes about it. Like a troglodyte will go out of its fucking way to eat a humanoid, but like a lizard folk, they'll, if there's no other food around or shit, they'll eat fucking humans and other humanoids. But since there's this giant fucking dead hydra here, it's like, yeah, we could keep the really raggedy fucking skinny slaves, or we could just eat the giant fucking false god that you just killed for us. Oh god, I forgot. Cause like, part of me, like with El Che again, like, and this is where the hypocrisy comes in. I totally just wanted to go into the lizard folk village and just be like, hey, we don't want the fucking slaves. We just want the spices that you have. Like, that's all we want. You can keep the fucking slaves and do whatever the fuck you want with them. And then even after that, I was like, maybe we should give them like half the slaves. Just to be like, to keep the door open with the lizard folk. And that's like one of the fucked up things is, like, El Che will fucking murder a slaver in a heartbeat. But, like, he doesn't give a shit about the fucking slaves. Like, fuck them. Neutral evil. So, Sammy had to leave at that point. So once again, he's just like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So he falls asleep in the wagon, and on the way back, we happen upon it because we had to go a different way. We notice a cave, which had art gallery written in front of it, which basically it might as well said, "Here's a fucking medusa." So I see this shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Fuck this. I'll fucking stay outside here and, like, not fucking do anything. No, you don't, Ginger. Oh, I'm sorry. Ginger's in the bed with me. I think she wants out. No, now she's laying down. See, Ginger's like, Casey in the bed, she's a fucking asshole, because, like, once she's in a bed, like, she just lays down and she's, like, instantly dead weight. Ginger's a fucking goddamn wiggle worm. Just like, you gotta pet me. You gotta put me under the blanket. Now you gotta put me on the blanket. Now I want to lay on this side. I want to lay on this side. It's like, just lay the fuck down. Like, I see you laying down all the fucking time, all day fucking long. And it's like, why do you have fucking trouble laying down at fucking night? Dogs. So anyways, like, so me and Darth stay outside during all this fucking chicanery. They go in and they notice, like, a woman wearing a porcelain mask. Again, like, Medusa. So, she's not outright hostile, so they decide to play along. And they go to the gallery, which, wow, there's a bunch of stone statues here that look a little too realistic. So, Lundy being the fucking... I honestly don't get why he's not fucking lawful good in this. Like, because, like, seriously, a lawful neutral character would be like, I don't fucking care. Like a lawful neutral character, like, could very easily been like, you know what? Medusa's not breaking any laws. Like, she's out in the wilderness. She's probably picking off adventurers who's trying to come into her fucking home and steal her fucking shit. That's basically what, like, seriously, the fucking shit we did to her was way fucking, like, not lawful in any fucking regard. Even, like, the laws of fucking nature would find this fucking shit abhorrent what we fucking did. So, so Lundy, first he sets about a plan. Like, he's gonna buy up all the statues, and they're relatively cheap. But then he's like, you know what? We got this assassin with us. So he turns to Brianna. He's like, okay, can you take care of the Medusa? And she's like, yeah, I'll take care of the Medusa. And by taking care of the Medusa, she basically put it into a bag of holding and then, forced the fucking Medusa to gouge out its own eyes, and now it's her sex slave. So, yeah, there you go, fucking Lundy. You really upheld the fucking principles of law and order right fucking there, didn't you? And El Che doesn't care because Medusas are fucking, they're one of the fucking master races in his fucking mind. So he's like, fuck him. He doesn't fucking care that Brianna fucking made a creature that would enslave other fucking creatures into a slave. He's like, I don't fucking care. But the sticky wicket came was when Lundy was making the deal with it, he happened to he was close enough to like a room where he heard basilisk. Basilisk it's like a big fat lizard that can petrify people with its uh, gaze and shit. So we could kill the basilisk and like rub the statues down in its blood, and that will unpetrify somebody. So Lundy again comes up with the brilliant idea. It's like, everybody who has range weapons, we're gonna go to the door. He's gonna kick it open, and we're gonna just shoot these fucking two basilisks dead, because like there's like a certain knock pattern that the Medusa did, and like when she did it, the basilisk like turned away from the door. So Lundy did the knock, flings it open. Um, I think Brianna, and Darth managed to get one of them out, and Queenie and the now fucking completely tamed Medusa managed to fucking kill the other one. So it's really fucked up. We forced a Medusa to kill its own fucking pet. Again, very fucking orderly, very fucking lawful. So we find a nice little treasure trove, and we embark once again. That was the final encounter. We managed to make it back to the city. Oh, we found a basilisk egg, which I was like, oh, we are so giving that to the fucking captain. And we didn't have enough blood to do all the statues, so we left like there was a dwarf, and um we kind of logicked it away by being like, well, that's probably the way a dwarf would want to go out, is being stoned, being embraced once more by Mother Stone or whatever fucking shit that a dwarf would believe. So we managed to get back to the town and give the drugs back to the captain. We also give him the statue, which he liked very much. He's actually, from what it sounds like, he's gonna unpetrify the dude and give him back to the dwarf clan, because like dwarves, he'll be like, oh, you know what, life debt. So, and he was really, really happy about the basilisk egg, because I mean, like seriously, you give some fucking lord a pet fucking monster, Like that's always like okay, D&D advice right now. If you ever come across like monster eggs or like baby monsters or any of that stuff and you're not sure the DM will allow you to keep it, always give it to a fucking NPC. Especially like NPCs in power because you know that wins you a lot of fucking favor. Like even if it's something as like simple, well, as relatively simple as something like a Pegasus, that's that's pretty fucking cool. You give some dude like, oh, here's a pet Pegasus, have fucking fun, my lord. Like that dude's gonna be very happy with you. Um, he was pissed about the news of the guy who was selling the slaves because apparently slavery is like one of the few things that is illegal in Skullport. But again, since I've been playing in another pirate game, and this one's technically not a pirate game, but it kind of is since we are in a pirate city. It makes it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of pirates who are against slavery. I mean, not all of them, but there's a pretty big contingent of the pirates who don't like slavery, and this is where me and the captain bonded because like he was like, I need somebody to do something to this guy, and I was like, I'll torture the fucking shit out of him. Like, my kobold boner was fucking showing again. So, like, for like just hours, me and the captain just tortured this fuck. And, we basically drove him to the fucking point of insanity. And, that was pretty much. Oh, wait. Queenie finally managed to bid Brianna, which she's very happy about that. She made her some poison, and then she was like, "Hey, let's fuck." And then Brianna was like, "Okay," and like they did things, and it was, whatever. But yeah, so Queenie, so one female NPC down, two to go for Queenie. So she's making pretty good headway. I mean, third game in and she's already in one of the NPC's pants, so that's good. And I also like that because Psych was like trying to figure out who Brianna likes in the party because like Brianna made out like a fucking bandit in this game. Like she got the lion's share of the magical items, which because a lot of them were like really useful for her or like other people had picked other magic items by the time these magic items had come around. Like the one that annoys me the most is she got a ring of sustenance. I wanted that fucking shit. I mean, I think I have enough to buy one, but like, oh, I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it. I fucking wanted it so fucking bad. Rings of sustenance are like I'll say that like a ring of sustenance is flat out the most useful magical ring in fucking Pathfinder. Like I know a lot of people go for like the rings of protection and stuff like that, but no, ring of sustenance. It's infinitely so much more fucking useful. So yeah, that's pretty much where the game ended. I mean, we did some more things, but it was more like we were buying houses and like we were spending our gold and shit. Like I bought like a better house that overlooks Lundy's fucking house, so I could fucking smoke my fine kobold cigars and like just throw the fucking butts on the roof of his house and be like, "Fuck you, peasant." And then I could explain to my fucking kobold guards about how, like, it's not fucking, hypocritical for me to do this because Lundy is one of the biggies, is already inherently part of the fucking bourgeoisie, so fuck him. And on that fucking note, I'm gonna end this.